Welcome back to another collection pickups video. This is, of course, the segment where I show off some of the things that I've added to my Jabba the Hutt collection over the last month or two, depending on how much I've gotten recently. It's been a couple of months since I've done this, I believe, and even that last one was primarily focused on some vintage Dune toys that I had recently got, but I have picked up a few items that I'd like to show off, so let's go ahead and jump right in. First item is something I found just totally randomly, I think, as I recall anyway. Yeah, it was on eBay. Somebody had listed these, and that got me to looking to see if I could find them cheaper than they were listing them, and sure enough, they were available on several places. I think I got them on Walmart.com, just directly from Walmart. What is it, you ask? Well, that's a good question. If you're not familiar with this line of products, you might be fooled into thinking that this is actually a Jabba-themed cereal, and I would totally buy that, of course. They've got Jabba here holding a spoon, and he's got some little, I don't know what they are, some slimy things in his bowl there, but if you look just a little bit farther down, you'll see it says boxer briefs inside. So this is actually underwear, Jabba-themed underwear, which, believe it or not, is something that I do not have in my collection up until now. It's never been made as far as I know. So, you know, that's cool. I will say, I'm a little disappointed that it's not actually cereal. They did actually make, just as a sort of aside, they did actually make a small little novelty box of Jabba-themed cereal as a, just a bonus item for Celebration 5, Star Wars Celebration 5 in 2010. I believe that was in Orlando. I didn't go, but I did get some of the items that they had available. And they made a whole series of Star Wars-themed mini cereal boxes, which is exactly the kind of thing that I love the Star Wars community to make. This is, of course, a parody of Grape Nuts, the cereal Grape Nuts. But in this case, it's Jabba's Grape Hutts. This breakfast cereal is my kind of scum, it says. No slime added. Well, that's kind of a bummer. I'll just give you a quick look on the back and sides. This, I believe, is filled with Cheerios. So it has something in it, but they're now, at this point, 11 or 12-year-old Cheerios, so probably not a great idea to actually open and eat this. Anyway, back to the underwear. This is, as I say, part of a line of sort of themed underwear, you know, adult underwear. That doesn't sound right. From Crazy Boxer. There they are, crazyboxer.com. And for whatever reason, they've decided to sort of make it look like they're cereal boxes. It's a bit of an odd choice, quite frankly. I do really like this artwork, though. If you look at it, you know, Jabba there on the front with his little bowl of cereal. I am here for that. But the underwear itself is not that great, in my opinion. I already took it from the box here, and it's, first of all, boxer briefs, and I'm sure opinions about that are varied, but, you know, boxer briefs, and I don't like the fact that they've used this kind of emoji-style Jabba face as the entirety of the design. It's just repeated. I would have liked to have seen Jabba's entire body, for example, or maybe some more variety in the pattern, something like that. This looks, honestly, to the average person, I'm not even sure they would be able to tell this is supposed to be Jabba just looking at it. But aside from that, it's cool to get some Jabba-themed underwear for sure. Let's move on. Next up, we have a patch that I got all the way from France. This came from the Attakus fan group, I guess you would say. The Attakus, of course, is a French company that makes statues. They had quite a run of Star Wars statues, which I haven't really covered in detail on the channel, but I will at some point. They decided, this fan group that is, decided to come up with a Christmas-themed patch showing the Attakus Jabba statue, which I have, as Santa Claus with, you know, the Santa hat and holding a candy cane instead of his hookah pipe, which the statue would normally be holding. It says, Merry Christmas 2021. There's the back of it. They also sent along a sort of postcard showing an illustration of Jabba there with Leia also wearing a Santa hat and a few other sort of Christmassy additions there. But I thought that was a pretty cool and fairly limited edition thing that I was able to pick up. Nothing on the other side, though. This next item won't actually fit in my sort of makeshift photography studio where I record these videos. So I'm going to show you, first of all, some photos that I took outside, and then I'll bring a little bit of it into the studio area where you can just, get an idea for what it's like. This is a holiday Gamorrean cutout that is basically a vintage Gamorrean guard that's been turned into some line art, vector art, and then changed, in this case, to be a holiday version. I got this from Scott Baker over at My 2D Heroes. I'll post a link to their Instagram page. He's sort of been selling them directly on Facebook, and I get the impression that he was kind of taken by surprise by how popular they were, and he's trying to maybe turn this into a business on its own. But they're not super expensive depending on the character. There are different sizes and things, but it can be around $30 to $40, including shipping, which is not too bad considering how giant these are. This is actually over 3 feet tall. It's fairly thin because it's made out of corrugated plastic, so it's completely flat basically. But it's intended to be used as a kind of outdoor decoration. And I thought it was pretty cool, and the kind of thing that you could, if you had a favorite character, for example, get one made and just sort of display it in your collection room or something like that. Let me go ahead and bring this in so you can see. Here is the head of the Gamorrean. It's got some nice quality printing and some nice, bright colors. I don't know how they'll stand up to time if you were to leave them out in the elements for a long time. And you can see it's made of corrugated plastic, so, it's only about 1/4 of an inch thick, probably, less than that. No, it's more like 1/8 of an inch. But it seems relatively sturdy. So anyway, just thought that was a pretty cool addition. And he's got quite a number of holiday versions of vintage Kenner Star Wars characters, as well as the traditional, normal versions that you can get. And he seems fairly open to, customizing things and offering characters that they don't actually even have, if you want to contact him about it. I have talked to him about the possibility of getting a Jabba. He doesn't have one available right at the moment, but, stay tuned. Maybe we'll get that done too. Next up, I have a figure from Funky McClunky, who I've been following on Instagram for a while. He's got some, custom action figures and stuff like that. I saw this and thought that was a pretty cool idea. I mean, of course, Hasbro's been releasing these so-called prototype figures of Stormtroopers and Boba Fett and stuff using this rainbow mix and match parts. So that, that's clearly where the idea came from, and I've seen some other people do stuff like that as well, but this seems to be well done, and I like the idea of doing it with Yak Face, so I decided to get one. He just had a run of 6 of these. I don't know if he's making more or not, but I'll leave his info in the video description. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. There's his information there too. Yeah, I'm not going to try too hard to maintain this because I think I'm just going to be displaying the figure on its own. When I first saw this, I was like, wow, is he mixing his own resin colors? Because it's difficult or maybe impossible to get colors like purple, I've found. But he said that he's actually painting these individually, which makes sense. But he did a good job painting them, I think. They're nice and smooth, You don't see any real brush strokes or anything like this. Now, this is 3D printed, I imagine, I'm sure, actually, using the Desert Octopus scan. And, of course, I've printed this as well, but so I could do this myself, I guess. But, you know, I just thought it was a cool idea. He does have a little bit of yellow there. I wonder if that perhaps happened in the packaging somehow. Anyway, all the ones that he had for sale had different combinations of colors, so I just decided to go for the one with the red head for whatever reason. It also comes with his staff in orange. So since this is painted, it's going to be a little bit on the fragile side. Well, and also because it's 3D printed as well, but, you know, it does seem to function relatively well. So I'll give it to that. I'll give that to him. And yeah, I think I'm going to just put him on the shelf. I may actually have to try and do this with Jabba. It looks like a cool idea. And you know me with rainbows. I like the the rainbow aesthetic, so I may have to give this a shot. And it would look good displayed next to this Yak Face. This next item is not really a Jabba collection pickup, and it's not really even a collection pickup at all, because it's something that I printed and painted myself, but I'm not really sure where else I would get a chance to show it off, because I'm not going to make a dedicated video just for this at this point. But this is, of course, Snoop Dogg as the Mandalorian, or a Mandalorian, taken from the Mount Westmore video called Big Subwoofer. This was designed by Desert Octopus, of course, who I've done a lot of sort of collaborations with. I think he did a really good job. He's since actually refined the model a bit to make it a little bit more accurate. He's gotten in contact with some of the people who actually designed the armor and stuff, apparently. But this was the original version that I painted, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I just thought I would show it off a little bit. There he is. I should probably put him in my Jabba's Palace display just to kind of guard things. Pretty cool. Next up, we have something I got all the way from England, because that appeared to be the only place that they were available. This is a Jabba the Hutt official ingot. Now, what is an official ingot, you ask? Well, that's a good question. This company, Fanatic, I believe makes things like pins and stuff out of metal, but they also have a line of these ingots, which are, for lack of a better way to explain it, I guess I would say they're cards made of metal, kind of like credit card sized, just little, cards that you can display. They're embossed with a design, in this case, Jabba. So if we take it out, you can see it's got some very dense foam holding it in place. A little hard to get out, frankly. And if you take it out, you can see it's got a decent weight to it, and it looks pretty good. This is actually based on a coloring book page from the vintage Return of the Jedi coloring book, which I will show you right here, so you can get an idea for how it compares. I actually colored this myself as an adult a while back, a few years ago. Anyway, I do appreciate that they used that design. I think it's pretty cool that they have that connection, and it probably was cheaper for them too than trying to license something new. I assume that they maybe had access to it somehow through Lucasfilm, but I don't know. Well, Disney now, of course. On the back, we have the number out of 9,995. Mine is 1995. Honestly, almost 10,000 of these. Each individual design, almost 10,000, seems like pretty ambitious. I mean, I'm not sure there are that many people who want to collect things like this. I think this is around, I don't remember exactly what I paid for this, but, $20 or $30 probably, something like that. So, it's a little on the high side, perhaps. It does come with a plastic stand, and this is something that I returned to the package just to show you what it looks like. I had taken it out earlier, and the first time I removed it, I basically cracked it because it's in here so well with this very dense foam. I'm not sure if I can get it out again. Come on. If you're watching this, fanatic, might want to rethink this design a little bit. There we go, I got it out. It's kind of a flimsy little stand, if I'm honest. It just opens up like that. It's made out of plastic. But it is nice in that you can put it like that and just sort of display them like this on a flat surface. So, you know, it is nice in that sense. Not a lot to say about it other than that, really. I guess if you're interested, I'll put a link to their website in the video description. I don't really have any plans to get more of these, but I'm glad that I have this one. One other item that I did get, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I did do a whole video about sort of Jabba's Palace-related pajamas, and it didn't do very well for whatever reason. I'm not sure if people are just not interested in it, but I was able to get, in addition to the version that I showed in that video, which is the Max Rebo pajamas with the short sleeves and blue, you know, color scheme, I was able to finally pick up the yellow version with long sleeves, which I know is very exciting. Well, it's exciting to me because this is the version that I missed out on long ago by mere seconds. Someone else sort of zoomed in and did a buy it now on an auction, and for the next 10, 12 years, I didn't see them come up again. So, you know, these are not valuable, to be clear. Not really very valuable, especially if they're just used like this. These, you know, they're just used pajamas. But to the right person, they are of interest. So, yeah, I just like having them. I really like the artwork on here. It's a little faded on the new ones that I got, but you can see it pretty well on here. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. I mentioned earlier that I made a Dune-centric version of collection pickups just because I had recently gotten a bunch of vintage Dune figures, and I'm a big fan of that movie, and just kind of wanted to show them off and talk about them for a little bit. Well, I got, since then, one other item, which is this right here. This is the Dune coloring and activity book based on the spectacular movie. And it just goes to show how bonkers this whole concept was, that they would have a Star Wars-like toy line and activity books and lunch boxes. I mean, they literally had those. Unbelievable. Since this may not appeal to everyone, I think what I'm going to do, actually, is sort of spin this off into a separate video that I will be posting on New Year's Day. And, you know, if you're interested in that, you can look at that. If not, you don't have to. But it is pretty special, I will have to say. So keep an eye out for that if you are interested. As usual, this video was brought to you with the help of my patrons from Patreon, including these Palace VIPs right here and Angelica Brady. If you'd like to join them and help support the channel for as little as $1 a month, you can click the link in the video description for more information.